Well, it looks like John Leguizamo, more like John Leguizamo, has shot his mouth off about Latinos being builders of America. When in fact, it was black people the one who built America. Because last time I checked, blacks were the one who's enslaved, who built America. My black ancestors, one who built it up. Foundational black Americans are the one who built America, laid down all the railroads. Pretty much the one who attended all the cotton fields and all types of other fields that was in the South of America and up north and everywhere else. I mean, come on, they already found, slave cemeteries all over Texas that was bulldozed and all the way up in New York as well too, and all over. But apparently he trying to say Latinos built it when Latinos even came to America, it was already built and established. Only they did is piggyback what all black people did. Now I'm gonna play this video of John Leguizamo claiming that, he found Latin excellence all over America and all over everywhere else, claiming how, they suffered and built in this country, which is mostly false. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video for you right now.
Latin people, we're the largest ethnic group in America, the oldest ethnic group. We built this country. We suffered in this country. We were oppressed, and we're thriving. We add $2.8 trillion to the GDP every year. If we were our own country, we'd be the fifth largest economy in the world, bigger than England, bigger than Italy, bigger than Brazil. And that's just in America. So I found Latin excellence all over America, in Chicago, in DC, in Miami, in Puerto Rico, in LA, in New York. And we ate, we danced, and we celebrated, because nobody knows how to enjoy life as good as Latinos.
Did y'all hear that moron? Nobody part like Latinos and Latino essence. They was oppressed in this country. No, y'all wasn't. When y'all came to this country, most of y'all was passing for white, since Spain is a European country, and white is considered anybody from a European country, that including Spanish people. But you talking about are the mestizos, who were probably, mixed between indigenous people and also, Spanish people of Europe. I don't know what this moron is talking about and why the heck he's coming out saying all this. I think as usual, he probably getting some money or something paid on the side. The last time I checked, this guy is in Puerto Rico. Yes, he's talking about he's Puerto Rico, but he's Colombian. And he don't even know what to identify himself as. He keep talking about Latin essence, but let's take a close look at it. And I can tell you right now, Latin includes anybody who can actually speak, some Spanish language or grew up around Spanish culture. It's not include the one person. An Asian person can be Latino. A black person can be Latino. That's it. I mean, they try to say that you can look anybody into any cultural thing. Latinos is one of them cultures you can look anybody in alone. They speak the language. They grew up in the background. That's it. You can't label anybody else Native American or black or Nigerian because they grew up in the tribe. No, that's only with Latino, so-called Latino culture. You don't believe me? Let's take a look at all these definitions I found and actual proof to show you what Latino really means and how it originated. Did y'all hear that moron? Nobody part like Latinos and Latino essence. They was oppressed in this country. No, y'all wasn't. When y'all came to this country, most of y'all was passing for white, since Spain is a European country, and white is considered anybody from a European country, that including Spanish people. But you talking about are the mestizos, who were probably, mixed between indigenous people and also, Spanish people of Europe. I don't know what this moron is talking about and why the heck he's coming out saying all this. I think as usual, he probably getting some money or something paid on the side. The last time I checked, this guy is in Puerto Rico. Yes, he's talking about he's Puerto Rico, but he's Colombian. And he don't even know what to identify himself as. He keep talking about Latin essence, but But let's take a close look at it. And I can tell you right now, Latin includes anybody who can actually speak, some Spanish language or grew up around Spanish culture. It's not included one person. An Asian person can be Latino. A black person can be Latino. That's it. I mean, they try to say that you can look anybody into any cultural thing. No, Latino is one of them cultures you can look anybody in alone. They speak the language. They grew up in the background. That's it. You can't label anybody else Native American or black or Nigerian because they grew up in the tribe. No, that's only with Latino, so-called Latino culture. You don't believe me? Let's take a look at all these definitions I found in actual proof to show you what Latino really means and how it originated. Okay, let's get this straight with John Leguizamo because he keep talking about, Latinos, which Latino is a Roman Gecko language, and you could Google search that and find out because that's in Europe. That's a European language. And also, you can look at the term white and what it's defined as when you Google search it. White is defined as white, and European Americans are the majority of people living in America. Oh, yeah, in the States, only what white is. White and European Americans are the majority of people living in the United States. White are defined by United States Census Bureau as those having origins in any of the original people of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Was okay, black. Let's get this straight. North Africa is part of Africa, not Europe. I mean, there's no white people who are originally from Africa. That's a myth that you could bust easily, because Neanderthals came out of the caves of Italy and where else in Europe. There was no Neanderthals in Africa. They invaded North Africa. And that was the Spaniards and the Arabs. And you look at European, but they didn't find white. I mean, yeah, and also European. They also left out Russia. That's part of it. So parts of China. Itself has been white way before Europeans did. You can look that up. I did a video on there, and I'll leave a description. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to actually go watch that video. And I got evidence to show that Asians did call themselves white way before Europeans did. Also, when you research this in the you research white, you go down see a breakdown of the ancestry, like the total population. Like they got white as being the largest group, whites are majority of the largest group in America, and then African American we was the second, but because of immigration, and mass immigration, that Hispanic Latinos got bumped to the second, and we're down to the third. You can see that. Now, if we go to a word you may not be familiar with, but it's called Ladino, and I'm finna explain to you what a Ladino is. Ladino knows that who speaks the Ladino language. The term came later to apply to anyone, regardless of ancestor, who rejected the indigenous culture. Latinos were accepted by neither the vast Mayan people nor by the Spanish, whose language and manner of dress they adopted and who considered them superior to the Mayan but inferior to themselves. The Mayan considered them traitors. The Latinos are rarely recognized by their exclusive use of the Spanish language rather than their indigenous language, and by their decided preference for Western preferences for Western rather than traditional dress. So basically, the native people who didn't speak Spanish language considered anybody who's speaking Spanish language to be traitor. Anybody who were speaking, so the lindos are a term used by the Mayan people for people who are traitors and speak and gravitate towards Spanish culture, kind of like what black people call Negropeans, the traitors who consider European dress and mannerism better and superior. Now, if we look at the word Hispanic, it said, what is the original meaning of Hispanic? And in the Oxford Dictionary defined the term as related to Spain or Spanish-speaking country, especially those of Central and South America, and is related to Spaniards and related to Spanish-speaking people or their culture, especially in the U.S. Now, speaking of Europe and Europeans, now it's like here you look at it, it says were ancient Romans Hispanic, and it goes like this. This is how it says right here. The Romans were both European and Latino. They were the original Latino people. They were the original Latin people. Latium is located in Italy. From them, the word lithium is located in lithium is located in Italy. From them, Latin culture spread to the rest of Italy, then France, Portugal, Romania, Belgium, Switzerland, and Spain. Now you look at that. Spanish started in Italy according to this. Well, according to this, Latin came from there, and from Latin, then came this, and Spain was the very last one. So all those languages are related, and all those are European countries. So Latin people are originally as Europeans, if you actually want to go by the actual, origins of it. And then like this, it says, I Google searched all this, and all this information are fact. And it said, what does Latin mean in Rome? The word Latino, what the word Latino mean in Rome? The word Latino is a Spanish word that has entered the English language. In Spanish, it means someone belongs to the people of ancient Latinum in Italy, whose language was Latin. So the Romans, of course, were Latinos. And so that goes to show you, Latin people are actually Italian people. So this is Western European culture. So when you claiming to be Latino, you're claiming to be a European. I get John Leguizamo did not look all that up. And you call yourself Latino, you basically calling yourself honorary white. I'm not making this up. It's all right there in front of you. Okay, this is the last and final one. Knows that where does the word Hispanic originate from? Like in Portugal and the rest of the European and wide world, the concept of Hispanic referred to historical ancient. Hispanic referred to ancient historical España, especially the term Espanol Roman, and España during the Roman Empire, or Spanish language and culture spread by all the Spanish-speaking countries. So España actually was, basically some kind, ancient country or people. You can look this up too, because España, nearly identical pronounced to Spanish, Portugal, and everybody else, was the Roman name for the Iberian people, also known as from a land called Iberia. España was divided into two provinces. España. It was divided into provinces as usual, and Spain ultimately was divided into two new provinces. It kept on getting divided and divided. And the Romans actually conquered España. And so you really are identifying between, you call yourself Latino, Hispanic, you are basically identifying as a European. So I'm guessing John Leguizamo did not even look in this day of up all this information, because clearly as day is in historical records. So wow, so there's a strong case that John Leguizamo traditional or original roots come from Italy. Isn't that something, people? They keep talking about all this stuff of Latin, excellency, and all this other stuff. That whites don't like them, but they are not even just also white; they are white. And Latin just goes by, how much language, the Spanish language are speaking, how much culture, that's pretty much it. Cause they ain't got Asians including in Latin at all, as well. And this guy sitting right here to keep trying to take over black people talking points and claiming that, they helped build this country when the country was already built before. I can't claim something that's already been done before and you claim you built it when it's already made. That's like they talking about Latin hip hop when hip hop was already created way before Latinos even involved in it. They didn't get involved till it's actually fully established. That's the crap that Fat Joe tried to pull. That he's keep pulling all these different fictional stories to keep telling. And this is probably the most that John Leguizamo been speaking in a while. I'm gonna start calling him John Lame Leguizamo because he's pretty much a lame. But you let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel for more.